noon hour is here.
Check it out.
And you're locked on to Utah's highest rated, most listened to sports radio station.
It's my station. It's my station.
This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, folks. Gather around the radio. Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. It is a Monday. Boy, do we have a busy, busy show. Hey, buddy, how are you?
Oh, I'm fantastic, and I'm sure everybody wants to hear about Brooks Koepka coming back to the PGA Tour. Is that where we're starting? Brooks Koepka returning to the PGA Tour.
Brooksy's back.
Brooksy's back, and the Tour can breathe easy because they don't have to fight for Brooksy.
Yeah.
Brooks Koepka returning, leaving the money. I wonder how much money he's leaving behind. None?
I think that there is from what I've heard, that there's a restructuring going on in LIV where they may have actually hit the tipping point where they're like, you know what, we're going to bring this down a little bit. And I guarantee they were like, hey, Brooksy, we're going to need you to take a haircut.
You remember when Prokhorov did that with the Nets?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Prokhorov comes into the NBA like, I've got billions. And he gets hit with a couple of bills, and he wins 28 games. And that's what – didn't he bring in Kevin Garnett?
Oh, yeah,
Darren
Paul
Williams?
Pierce, Kevin Garnett. Then he all of a sudden realized, you know what? I'm going to sell this team.
And
I'm not really enjoying this.
Why are we not winning?
Yeah.
I thought I could come in, buy players, and why are we not winning?
Yeah.
But it's awesome, man. The sports weekend was incredible, Scotty.
Yeah, it was. NFL playoffs, all kinds of good stuff going on. College basketball. I think it's back, but that's just me. I love college hoops, and I think we saw a Utah team that showed a pulse.
Yeah, we saw a Utah team that showed a pulse, a BYU team that found a way to get it done when they couldn't last year.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of different storylines and rumblings from what happened in Boise. What was this mess? Where Boise was selling student tickets and then wouldn't sell to students.
All right.
And then
so their students are not in session yet. They're on the, I guess, maybe the quarter system. So much like how Utah State over the last two games, home games, their students have not been in town. So what they do is they open it up to the public and say, hey, you can be a student, come back for a day. And they sell discounted tickets to the community to try to fill up those tickets that are normally assigned to students. Well, Boise State had the similar situation. First off, their students don't go to games, period. Second of all,
didn't even know they went to school.
Yeah, exactly. Well, using the word school might be a bit of a stretch.
Oh, my gosh, when Scotty bites into BSU, it's always something.
So Boise decided to have a campaign where, like, hey, if you're a student, college, high school, pre-K, whatever, community college, all you have to do is come to the game, show your ID, your school ID, and you will get into the game for free because they wanted to pack that place. Big game against Utah State. And so, and their tweet was, any and all students. That's what they tweeted out.
Okay.
So, Utah State students caught wind of it.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, wait a minute. That's just about a 4-hour drive. We have a student ID. Let's go.
Yeah.
And so
it's a great price on a ticket.
Yeah, exactly. So they started rumbling. And then all of a sudden, Cam Walker, Jared Calhoun, and others said, hey, guess what? We will chip in and we'll raise money and we will get you gas cards and reimburse you for the gas going up there. And so they raised quickly about $4,000.
Yeah, I saw that.
And
okay, so there wasn't any transport. They weren't. I thought they'd put together a bus, but they were just giving gas cards.
Just going to give gas money and say, there you go. Well, Boise State finds out what's going on and realizes, oh, no.
We screwed up. We're going to have a ton of Aggies in here.
Yes. So they reversed the policy and said, we meant you had to have an Idaho school ID, whether it's,
That's
high school
dirty.
in Idaho and stuff. And their AD even admitted, like, all right, you guys found a loophole, but guess what? I'm closing it. Nobody.
That's so dirty.
And so they said, okay, we've got $4,000 here to play with. If you guys can manage your gas, we will pay for the tickets. The tickets were only like $15, $16. Okay. So they decided to put that money, and they still paid for the tickets for the kids to get in, and they had a crazy student section there.
The flotilla arrived.
Oh, man, it was so funny because you could hear them right out of the gate. And there was actually a pretty decent Boise State crowd.
Yeah.
But those students, you know how loud and obnoxious they can get.
Yeah,
and they bled over the entire game. And then Utah State came out and just hammered Boise State.
It's the most underrated student body.
Yes.
It really is.
It's incredible.
Every time I've been up to the Spectrum, I just am like, these guys go to great lengths. I still have never seen student section wear rubber gloves to make their clap louder. It's innovative. It's a little bit crazy. But it's the next step that you take when you're like, what else can we do to be completely obnoxious?
How can we make this louder?
And I know you were a little bit nervous about that game.
Oh, I know.
That was dismantling.
Yeah, 10-0 right out of the gate. Ended up, they were up by as many as, I think, 33. Ended up winning by 25 just because of some garbage points Boise State poured on late. But that was a crazy dismantling. And it was really cool afterwards. They brought all the students down that were there, put them courtside, and had the players in front of them, took a really cool picture. And it was
I saw the picture.
And Boise State fans apparently are irate about it. Like, how dare you accommodate them, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, whatever. It was great.
It was fun.
The picture was awesome. Speaking of 10-0, should we jump into the starter?
Let's get to it. Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is Hans and Scotty G.
Let's go!
The lineup is set, and it's time to kick off the show with the biggest topic of the day. This is the starting lineup on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Hans, it was a fun one this weekend.
It was a really fun one, and I decided to take Miss Amanda and head up to the Huntsman Center and take in a little rivalry game.
You had a pretty good view of that one, too.
I did. It was awesome. It was great. And big shout out to Sean and everybody else that helped me get in because it's not an easy ticket to get.
No, that one's not easy.
No, it's not an easy ticket to get. But so I'm sitting there with Amanda, and we got there early because I wanted to just take in the whole rivalry game experience. And the place was buzzing because everybody's like, hey, we did it last year. We did it last year. We took care of business in this building last year. We're going to do it again this year. And then you had the other people that are like, this AJ DeBonsa. You had the realists out there that were like, oh, this AJ DeBonsa is unstoppable. Then you had the other people that were like, oh, this is the one. And you could feel there was a real buzz. I mean, Utah felt like they could come in. The Utah fan base felt like Alex Jensen and this running Utes team could come in and compete. And I thought that the game ops were awesome. I really did. And I know people are making a big thing because Swoop rappelled down from the ceiling.
Yeah.
And he went about scoreboard high and hung there for quite a while, probably 2-3 minutes. And then he started to come down, and then he came down fast. All of a sudden, he just unleashed and it came down fast, and his carabiner came out of the rope, and he hit the floor pretty good and went down to his butt and kind of his butt and his legs. And I was like, either he was trying to put on a show to get down fast or he ran out of rope. I don't know what happened. But that was just one thing that kind of kicked off the energy, and then he jumped up and he was going crazy.
Okay, so he's all right.
Yeah, he was okay.
Right.
But it was like for just a second, I'm like, oh. And then everybody's in their seats before the initial call out.
What's the red to blue ratio?
By my count, I would give it
Your estimation.
65-35.
Okay.
Utah to BYU. No, I might go 60-40. I sent out a video. It's a hard call because everything BYU was really up high, heavy up high.
Yeah.
And then Utah was pretty well in the lower bowl. But it felt like it's maybe a 60-40 something split. But everybody was in their seats for the initial call-outs, and the place was rocking when they started calling out the players. I thought that Utah did a really good job. I think their game ops does a good job.
Oh, really? It's been forever since I've been to a basketball game up there.
I actually think their game ops does a really good job.
Okay, cool.
Now, maybe they went the extra mile because this is the rivalry game. They knew the place would be packed. But they had all kinds of different fun games that they were rolling out, and they had up until it felt like there was a timeout every 5 seconds and a TV timeout every 5 seconds and an official's timeout every 5 seconds, with about 7 minutes left in that game, there were all these timeouts and TV timeouts, and they ran out of game ops. Because they were running people on the court every time there was a timeout, running people on the court, free throws or 3 points, and they were running tic-tac-toes, and Swoop would come out, and he's doing things, and they were doing like the chicken dance. And,
you can only have so many baby races.
Yeah.
And it's just, and then all of a sudden you're like, all right, we're out of babies. We got nothing else.
I could tell like they did hit a game ops limit. But up until that limit, all kinds of fun activities. And you were talking about Utah State jumping out on Boise State. That game tips and Utah jumps out, whatever it was, 8-0 or 10-0. They jump out to a nice, fast, exciting, and energizing start. And all of a sudden, the people around me start believing, like, oh, it's going to happen again, because I was mostly surrounded by Utah fans.
Yeah.
It's going to happen again. Oh, my gosh, it's actually happening. And then you just see A.J. DeBonsa slowly grab the energy. Richie Saunders, he has such a great awareness. When you watch Saunders, you just watch a basketball player. Full awareness of momentum, of crowd, of coaching command, of scheme, of person. He just has a full command. And he's like, okay, well, what can I do here? All right, I'm going to go out. I'm going to go hit this catch and shoot. I'm going to change some momentum. All right, I'm feeling the energy. What can I do? Okay, I'm going to work inside the paint. I'm going to go pull down this rebound. All right, what's happening here? What's going on now? All right, it's back to the catch and shoot. I'm going to rotate out deep. A.J. DeBonsa drives in, Rob Wright drives in, fires it out to a corner to A.J. You've got a quick double close. Richie Saunders on a trailer to the break, and A.J. hits him full speed, catch and shoot, hits the three, grabs the energy. It's like full awareness of everything that this kid has taken in, and he's fun to watch. Richie Saunders was actually more of the show to me than A.J. DeBonsa was in this game. And if you were to try to, if you were to say, okay, well, where did the game come down to, and what grabbed it, and what finally turned it for BYU? Because Utah kept it close. They were keeping it within one possession as you're closing in on 3 minutes. And what was it? It was Richie Saunders and his boards.
Yeah.
He had 6 offensive rebounds in that game. He had 14 total boards. And I felt like every time you needed an extra chance to either continue to burn the clock down as you're holding a 3 or 5 point lead, or, fire it back to the outside and work the shot clock a little bit, or get the rebound, defensive rebound, and try to get the quick transition going the other way. My observation of that game was Richie Saunders' boards were the difference.
And this is what I think is really impressive about this BYU team. And I want to talk about Utah here in a bit, because I think they deserve a ton of props for what they were able to do. But BYU, and this is what's going to be frustrating to teams that play them in the Big 12 and eventually in the NCAA tournament, there's so many different ways that they can beat you. Obviously, we know about A.J. DeBonsa, but don't forget, Richie Saunders is a hell of a player. Like, he went from the face of the team to now being, the third option for the team. Mm-hmm. And you know what? He's totally fine with that. Yeah. And there are going to be games where Richie Saunders is going to lead your team to a victory. And that was one of them. And I think A.J. DeBonsa's totally fine with that. Rob Wright's totally fine with that. And it was just those moments where you can tell that it's like, okay, you know what? This is going to be a game I'm going to need to play well. This is a game where I'm going to have to put the team on my shoulders. And he's capable of doing that. That's going to be frustrating, because your game plan, game one, every game is going to be, where's AJ? Mm-hmm. All right, that's the guy we got to showcase on. We got to focus in on him, find a way to limit him. Okay, well, now we got Richie Saunders coming up and going for a double-double with 30 points plus. Well, shoot. What are we going to do about that? And so it's a bit of a pick your poison. But props to Utah for hanging in there every step of the way. A one-possession game late, BYU's trying to foul up 3, and you turn it over. But, I mean, it was just a minuscule moment away, just a play or two away from that thing going into perhaps OT.
It was. It was a great game. Exciting and a lot of fun. And I could see what Alex Jensen was trying to do. Alex Jensen was collapsing on A.J. DeBonsa. Every time A.J. touched the ball, you had Traore, or you had Brown, or you had McHenry, or you had Dawes, any one of the combination, but you typically had two guys that would hammer down, and you had a third guy that would come in and harass until that ball got up A.J.'s hands. But this is the difference with A.J. DeBonsa that I don't see with a lot of college kids. When you get that double pressure or you get that third man pressure, I feel like college players panic.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
They stall out. They turn over the ball. They call the timeout. They don't know what to do. They're overwhelmed by the pressure. What does A.J. DeBonsa do? He uses his length, he gets separation, and he finds windows, and he distributes. That's the difference.
100%.
That's what changes the game of basketball.
Yep.
Okay, great game plan, Alex. You knew you had to get that ball out of DeBonsa's hands. You knew it. So you drew up some really hard, really aggressive defense every time he touches it. But the difference was A.J. would get it out of the window. He would find some distribution that would then lead to an open shot that was then knocked down. The threes were ugly. At one point in the first half, Utah was 1 of 11, and BYU was something like 2 of 10 or 2 of 11, something like that. 2 of 10, I think it was. Now, things ramped up a little bit more in the second half because, and BYU only made, I guess, 4 of about 20. No, 4 of about 15.
Yeah.
From then on, but they did hit a couple of open looks that were really necessary. But when AJ can distribute out of the collapse, what do?
Yeah. It's wide open.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
And it's what every team is going to have to do. Because when AJ gets ahead of steam at the top of the key, if he gets ahead of steam on you, you're screwed. He's going to posterize you. Now, there was one beautiful block shot that you saw that A.J. DeBonsa went up for the posterizing, one-handed, over-the-top, and you get a hand on that thing, and that was probably the most noise in the arena on the entire night, was the block. That was as loud as it got, I thought. But outside of that, A.J. DeBonsa, when he gets moving, Scotty, he's so fluid.
Yeah. No, that's a guy that, frankly, should not. Look, I'm all about guys playing college ball. And I believe that the 1-year rule, Danny Ainge wants it 2 or 3 years. But I'm all in favor of the 1-year rule. But there is a certain classification of player that you see and you're like, yeah, you probably shouldn't be playing college ball.
Yeah.
Like, he's one of those, and you just watch him out there. And it's like, oh, he's different.
He's so good.
Yeah.
He's so smooth and poised, and his shot is so pure. And his movements look like they were born for the game.
Yeah.
So he's a special talent. And I go back to BYU sits 15-1. So BYU is officially past the halfway mark.
Yeah.
They got 15 games left, and they sit 15-1. And I go back to the UConn game, and we were just talking about Rob Wright. You remember against UConn, they had a chance.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
They had a chance, and Rob Wright lost possession of the ball. And I think that team in that moment learned a lot about possession, personnel, who it is. It's never going to be an identified man. Like you said, it can be by committee. Rob Wright can end it. A.J. DeBonsa can end it. Richie Saunders can end it. There's plenty of guys on that team that can swoop the momentum away from a team.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. And dish it back at you. And I think that this team really very easily could be undefeated.
Oh, very easily. Yeah.
You lose 86-84 to that UConn team. That was game 4 of the season.
Yeah.
They started out the season. They beat Villanova. They beat Holy Cross. They beat Delaware. And then they had UConn. And remember, they come off that UConn game, and they put They beat Wisconsin by 28 points. Mm-hmm. So I look at the halfway point or just past the halfway point. Beating your rival on their court. I know that Utah has really struggled this year, but you could see they came out with juice and energy.
No, and they're building. Alex is going to get them there.
I think Alex is going to get him there, and I think Alex did have a good game plan for BYU.
Yeah.
But you look at what they've got moving forward. They still have number 15 Texas Tech in their way, number 1 Arizona in their way twice, 15 Texas Tech twice. They've got number 7 Houston once, and they still have to go on the road to Kansas.
Yeah,
it's murderer's row.
Yeah,
but let's just say, for sake of conversation, let's say they come out of this thing with 3 losses. 3 losses, and they finish the season 20. Would it be 29? 3 or 28-3?
3 losses total or 3 losses in conference?
3 losses total.
3 losses total, and they're 28-1. I think they're 28-3. I think it's a 31 game schedule.
I think it's a 31 game schedule. 28-3, and let's say they beat Houston, they split with Arizona, and they lose to Iowa State.
In that scenario, they're a 2 seed, close to a 1 seed. Depending on what they do in the conference tournament.
What's the highest seed BYU's ever been? Have they ever been a 2 seed?
I don't think they've been a 2. Have they been a 3? That's a good question.
I'll figure it out.
We'll do a little research on that. Hans and Scotty right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Looking for the latest on the Jazz, Utes, Cougars, and Aggies? Yeah, we've got you covered. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5, the Sports Zone.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. By the way, you heard Will Hardy there. There's losses, and then there's 55-point losses at home to a team that came into that game with 13 wins.
Oh, man. Bro, Scotty.
Yeah.
The worst in Jazz history.
Yeah, that was
to a 14-win Hornets team.
Yeah, that's not good.
LaMelo Ball was plus 37. Plus 37.
Wasn't there a Jazz player that was minus 50?
There was minus 60.
Minus 60.
Yeah, Cody Williams.
Oh, Cody. Oof.
32 minutes, he was minus 60.
Yep,
Have you ever seen a minus 60?
No, I've never seen a minus 60. Never.
How do you get a minus 60?
Really? How do you get fired on your day off? How do you get a minus 60 at a home game against Charlotte?
Cody, no!
That's a record you don't want to have.
Cody, no.
Oh, Bubba.
Oh, Bubba, no. Brandon Miller was plus 36. Diabate was plus 38. I mean, you had, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bench players scored in double digits.
Ooh. All right, so I like that quote from Will Hardy because from a coaching standpoint, there are games that, and Jerry Sloan was the king of this because everybody thought that Jerry Sloan was this hard-A, mean SOB, and he could be at times, but there was a big method to his madness. And, Hans, you were in enough of those post-game scrums. Mm-hmm. There'd be a tough loss, and you think, Jerry's going to
He's going to hammer him.
He's going to hammer. And he would be soft-spoken. He'd be like, all right, there's some things to work on. We're going to get all right. We're going to get back on track. I'm like, wait a minute.
Exactly.
And then there's be times where the Jazz would win, and he's like, we only send them to the free throw line 10 times. This is not a tough team, blah, blah. And it's like, wait a minute. Mm-hmm. Well, he's sending that message through the media to his players because he doesn't want to come out and be overly critical because as Will Hardy just mentioned, and we'll play, and here's that cut again, like, hey, look, they already feel bad enough. They know they're the ones on the court. They're the ones that got embarrassed. It doesn't help putting any salt in the wound here.
Those are my guys. That's a hard night for all of us. I make it a point to always stand because I'm never going to be the person that's going to sit and hide while we're getting our heads kicked in. But I also recognize I'm on these guys really hard, but in certain moments, my first responsibility is for them to know that I'm with them and that I'm not another critic, I'm not another person chirping from the crowd, and I'm not compounding what is already a bad feeling. I have to have enough feel in certain moments to know they know and already feel awful about how it's going. They don't need me adding to that in those moments.
Jeez.
Really self-aware, because I'm sure he would love nothing more than to just tear into these guys a new one. But he knows it's not going to do
That was
any
a
good.
masterpiece of dog shit.
Yeah. Now that was a different game. That wasn't this game. That was one from last year.
Because here's the hard thing: as a head coach, your name is attached to that
Yeah.
product more than any individual's name. Agreed?
Yep, 100%.
I think,
You're the chef.
yeah, your name is now attached to a 55-point loss to a 14-25 Charlotte team. How do you not come unglued, unbuttoned, and burn the whole thing down, tear everybody in half, and say, that's how you're going to represent me? That's how you're going to represent the Will Hardy brand? You didn't show up for me? I'm sure that they're getting an earful away from the media mic. He handled it right in front of the media. It's exactly it.
Yeah.
I'm in the trench with these guys. But his name is now synonymous with the 55-point loss to the Charlotte Hornets. And that hurts. And I'm sure that he is ripping people in half, and they're having a real soul search as a unit, because that was horrifying.
Yeah, that was, and it was funny. I was doing the Utah State game, and I know you were at the Utah game and getting updates.
Mm-hmm.
David James is sending me like, well, they're down 20. Oh, they're down 30. And I'm like, what is this? This can't be happening.
Have you ever seen a team down 31 points in the first quarter?
No. First quarter, no. I'm sure it's happened, but I've never seen it happen before. And maybe it hasn't happened. I don't know, but
I've never 31 points in the first quarter.
yeah.
I've never seen anything like it. So
Like, it almost wonders, like, it makes you wonder, like, there's losses, and then there's like, wait a minute, like, did something go on? Is there a weird
Kardashian
figure that's
or
entered
a
into
goat buried in the arena, or like, is that what you're meaning?
Yeah, like
some
it almost seems
voodoo?
like something happened there. It was like back in the day when the Dallas Mavericks had Jason Kidd and Jimmy Jackson on the team, and they were just rolling, and then all of a sudden, both of them fell in love with Tony Braxton, and it just wrecked the team. Like, is there some weird love triangle going on? Like, I don't know. Like, this is a crazy, crazy game that you just, like, an NBA team doesn't lose by 55. It just doesn't happen.
Now, to their credit, it would have been really hard to not fall in love with Tony Braxton.
Oh, yeah.
in the 90s.
Unbreak My Heart. That video, it got all of us emotional.
I'm pretty sure that it would have tore this show, three of us, at the seams.
Oh,
If Tony Braxton was in the office in the 90s.
yeah. Not today, Tony Braxton.
100% pure love. Every one of her songs. She had that sultry, deep,
But
female bass.
When she hits that Unbreak My Heart, that chorus, and she just rips it. And it's like, wow.
And Tyrese goes flying over that car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it Tyrese? No,
I think so.
Tyson Beckford.
Oh.
Tyrese is the
What
other.
is this? This is awful, Tony Braxton.
No, that was not. That was not.
It's definitely not Unbreak My
It
Heart.
sounded like the start of it, but then it wasn't.
Yeah.
It's turned into some weird techno.
Yeah, somebody got a hold of that one and remixed it, unfortunately.
Look, at this point, there's a very big part of me that doesn't mind if Tony Braxton is tearing this team at the seams, because I was
After
going
you
through.
saw AJ Devontae.
Oh, jeez. So I was going through. Somebody did a write-up. Some national writer did a write-up on the top 9 properties of the Utah Jazz. And the number 1 property is still the 2026 top 8 protected pick that will not convey to the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's the number 1 product. And we're here, and things got weird for a minute. It was like, oh, you're going to lose it. But you have to finish top 8 or bottom 8 if you're looking at a draft perspective. But remember, Scotty, you and I talked a lot about this last year when the Jazz were making sure that didn't convey. That doesn't mean that you can just finish 6th or 7th or 8th.
No.
Because if the draft lottery hits you and you fall to 10th, you convey.
Oh, absolutely.
You lose that pick.
Yeah. In fact, if the Jazz finished with the 7th worst record, I guarantee they'd lose that pick.
They would lose that pick.
Yeah.
That's just the way things go for the Jazz.
Yeah.
The Jazz need to finish in the bottom 4.
Yep.
To kind of ensure that they can't fall out of the top 8 picks. So I look at it, I'm like, yeah, this is a mess. This is a mess. But let's not fix it yet.
No.
Let's let some of this stew out, and let's figure out who has some guts and who wants to figure this out. But there's work to do with this top pick.
Yeah, and everybody thinks A.J. DeBonsa because he's here in our backyard, but you got the Boozer kid. You got so many. This very well could be a 2003 NBA draft that had Carmelo and LeBron, Dwayne Wade. Like that's the quality you could have in this draft. You do not want to screw it up.
Yeah, and A.J. DeBonsa is your golden ticket because you're going to have a built-in fan base that loves the kid because he's repped the Cougars so well.
Yeah,
he's repped the brand. He's embraced it. And he's made it big.
Well, if you want to think long term here, the guy played high school at Wasatch, right?
He did.
And
he's a Wasatch Academy.
Yeah. So he chose to go to Utah for high school. He chose to go to Utah to college. If you're wondering about, well, in 3 years or 5 years or 7 years he's going to be gone, well, that kind of helps out. That puts the odds a little bit more in your favor.
Yeah. Bro, he would be incredible for the Jazz if they could do it. Now, I think that the Jazz really learned a sour lesson last year.
Yeah.
When they were out there for Cooper Flag and they fell as far as they fell. It was a sour, probably horribly bitter pill. And you and I were following it, and we were following it with individuals that were in the front office. And those individuals were all in. It was hey, it's everything you can do for Cooper Flag. And they really got stung. Really got stung. Now, let's see how things kind of work out here. But it feels like they really got stung. Probably learned a pretty horrible lesson. And I'm not saying they got to finish the worst record like they did last year. I'm not even saying they got to finish with the second worst. But I think anything 4th and lower is for the best for the Jazz future. And something like this sucks. You don't want to lose a 55-point game. That's a heartbreaker. I don't know how some of these guys overcome it. A lot of these guys are going to have to look in the mirror. I don't know how Kevin Love did. Kevin Love probably has never lost a game by 55 points.
No, not a chance. And he's been part of some bad teams, too.
He's been part of some bad teams. And they're going to have to do some soul-searching. But I watched a few of the highlights of Con Knipple, and that's a guy that would have been nice.
Yeah.
It's a guy that would have been a really nice addition. He's already averaging 25 and 4.
It's not a foregone conclusion. Cooper Flag wins Rookie of the Year.
And
Con's right there with him.
You were the first one that brought Con up to me. And then I started watching some film and doing some research, and it was like, no, that's a hot name. And Con went 1 pick before the Jazz, right?
Yeah, I think he went 4.
He went 4. So he's special. He's going to be a really special player. Now, somebody has to score for Charlotte, and I don't know how many people are locked in on Con at this point, but early parts, he sure looks good.
Yeah. All right, what you may have missed coming up next, Hans and Scotty. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Number 1.
Miss any part of the show? Every moment of every show is available in podcast form by searching Hans and Scotty on your favorite podcasting platform or online at KSLSports.com. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We're going to be hanging out coming up on Wednesday. Tim Daly, Nissan Southtown, 11155 South Jordan Gateway in South Jordan. It's really easy to find. Just west of I-15.
It's
easy.
Easy to find.
You see the big old dealership.
It's the best.
Tim Daly, home of the forever warranty.
They're great people.
Yep. Tyler's the man.
And we all own cars from them.
Yes, we do. We are a proud supporter of the Tim Daly family.
Tim Daly family's doing well off Hans and Scotty.
Yes, they are.
Even if they didn't sell a single car to a listener.
Yeah, we got them covered.
Oh, somehow our advertising has gotten us hooked.
Well, and I like how, let's say maybe Jake needs to move 1 or 2 vehicles at the end of a month. He's like, hey, what's up, bro? How are you?
How's it? Amanda liking that 90?
Yeah. Like, we could shave a couple dollars off that payment if we do this.
Which they've done.
They have.
But I think they've got themselves to a zero margin now on Amanda's cars.
Yeah, the same.
It's like, there's no way they're shaving any more off. They're as low as they can. I think the payment on a brand new 90, third row.
Yeah. PHEV?
At a PHEV, I think it's somewhere mid threes, 300, 350, something like that.
There you go.
It's insane. Yeah. No money down.
Yeah. Crazy.
You can hit leasing options on these cars and pay nothing and never see a check engine light ever again.
That's the beauty of it right there. I had so many car issues. I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. Can't do it.
Because I'm driving that F-150 that I had to replace the engine because I just love the stupid truck. I like the noise, whatever it does. I've put electrical tape over the check engine light. So I've got electric tape like on the dash just in front of because I know it's still it's been on for like a year and it's still driving.
Yeah.
So I hate the light because it makes you feel sick.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I've taped over the light.
Taped over the light?
Yeah.
That may be one of the favorite things you've ever done.
That light ticks me off. So
like, I just changed your engine. You're fine.
I did. I just put a new engine in you.
I lost all that money. I took all that money out of crypto just to pay for you.
Yeah, I did.
I know.
Took it all out of Doge.
Right before it dropped.
Right before it dropped. I got Doge at 38 cents.
And now it's like at 13.
Yeah, 12. 12 or 13. It's miserable.
All right, NFL playoffs. We'll talk about that coming up next. But you mentioned at the beginning of the show, Brooksy's coming back. Brooks Koepka returning to the PGA Tour. Who cares?
Nobody.
Not a soul. He's out there like, when I was a child, I always dreamed about competing on the PGA Tour. I'm just excited today. I'm announcing I'm returning. And everybody's like, what, you left?
And you gained 50 pounds?
Yeah, like what happened there?
Got fat and happy in Saudi Arabia, huh?
Yeah, no doubt. Tiger's over there like, hey, you're going to compete again. You better tighten up.
Because there was a point where Koepka was a fit beast.
Yeah.
Then I was watching an event, and I'm like, geez, Brooksy.
Yeah. I bet DeChambeau's enjoying that.
He's on the DeChambeau calorie train without the lifting.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm eating all these calories. Yeah, but you have to couple that with this.
It's actually kind of a tandem, but he's back. I don't think he's going to move anything. But
Nope.
He's back.
All right, Hans and Scotty. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.